Hello everyone and welcome aboard. It is another day on this ocean-filled planet. The birds are chirping, the fish are swimming, and there is a new internet challenge sweeping the nation that is leading to injuries and in some cases even deaths. I'm going to give you one hint into what it's regards to, and it rhymes with shit talk.
If you're hurling yourself off a boat moving at 30 miles an hour, that water is going to stop you like a slab of concrete.
That is right. The new trend is people jumping off of boats at high rates of speed. It is causing harm, injuries, and in some cases, even death. It is sweeping TikTok right now.
A stunt intended to rack up views. It's known as the boat jumping challenge, and it has people on social media leaping off speeding boats into the water.
Jumping off a boat is something that people have done since boats ever existed. And the big concern here is that not only is it the case for people who are on boats, but now they want to show off to everybody. And when everyone sees it, the trend starts, people start doing it when they maybe wouldn't have in the first place, and it creates a cycle. Now, before I get into the dangers of actually jumping off a boat at moving speeds, I do want to bring up that having a person in the water is one of the most dangerous parts of boating, and I'm not going to be a fun sucker and say that there's never times where you can't be in the water or everyone should be on the vessel at all times, because it's not the case. When you go wakeboarding, when you go tubing, you want to be in the water, you want to enjoy it, you want to have fun, you just have to do it safely. Now let's talk about all the dangers involved in actually jumping off a vessel. But before we do, I just want to point out that it does say here on the today's thing that at least 4 are dead, and it kind of specifically says Alabama, I believe. I did look, and they claim that the Alabama law enforcement agency that there are no recorded deaths in the state of this happening directly to TikTok trends. I'm not going to get involved with the media's classification of the whole thing being only TikTok trends. I just want to go over why it's dangerous and why it does need to be avoided. And to do so, I want to leave you with a clip here from Travis Pastrana, a man who is very familiar with danger and who went on Steve-O's Wild Ride podcast here and talks a little bit about what had happened with his father who jumped off a boat at very high speeds.
Hey Travis, the first episode of Nitro Circus, was that when your dad jumped off the boat?
So he goes in and it rips so he does the splits when he lands. Well, he can't do the splits. He shatters his pelvis, starts bleeding out. So he swims back to the boat and he gets on and he pulls himself up, broken pelvis, bleeding out. We didn't know it. Well, he passed out on the shore, goes to it, and basically they put him in shock trauma. 2 surgeries later, gave him blood for 2 days.
So I tried to find this clip to show you guys how insane his dad jumping off this boat was, but I wasn't able to find one. It is, however, if you want to see it, on Nitro Circus Season 1, Episode 9 of Panamania. I think Travis does a great job here highlighting the brutal injuries that were caused by jumping off a boat at high speed. I would say that this instance is incredibly extreme, going 90 miles an hour. I don't think anyone's doing that on TikTok, not that I've seen. However, jumping off a boat at even lower speeds can still hurt you. I mean, anything close to 40 miles an hour, and you've seen it probably all over the news if you've looked at this topic before, is like hitting cement. Water is not soft when you're moving fast. It's not soft when people jump off bridges. Anyone that's jumped in a pool and then on their back, they've felt the sting, the old belly flop competitions. And so that is one of the biggest dangers of this. And I know I probably sound like I'm preaching here, but I've been a victim of this as well. When I was younger, when I was 19 years old, I was on a boat, hard day of working. It was the last trip of the day, and I wanted to show off to the people on the boat and jump in the water. So I told the captain, I'm gonna jump in. I did the full jump off the stern, spin around in the air, show everyone how cool I am. And the second I hit the water, I was immediately waterboarded. And on top of that, I got whiplash. The neck is not very strong. That's why everyone gets whiplash when they're in minor car accidents. And it's the same thing happens when your legs hit the water first and your body goes forward. The next day I was feeling it and I've never done it since. You learn really quickly. Now, if we jump back to that Today video, this officer right here actually highlights it.
Avoidable.
The 4 that we responded to when they jumped off of the boat, they literally broke their neck and, basically an instant death.
The thing they're highlighting here is that whiplash that I was just talking about. However, one of the other big dangers of doing this is not necessarily when you hit the water. I mean, when you hit the water, you're definitely injured, or if you're lucky, you're not. But if you are injured, you are now in water far away from a boat that is safe, or far away from people that can come and rescue you. And, like in this case, if you have a neck injury, you might not be able to swim. You might not be able to float. Obviously, wear a life jacket if you ever think to do this. Lots of people are not wearing life jackets, and then that's the predicament that they find themselves in. They jumped off this boat, they hurt their neck, and now they're unable to swim back to the boat or unable to even tread water to help them float. By the time the boat gets back, it's too late. Even if the boat does get back, like in the case with Travis's dad, it could still be hours from any sort of medical attention. I think he was very lucky that they were filming a show where they had medical attention on scene for the show. But if that wasn't the case, it sounds like his dad could have bled out. And that is an incredibly frightening thing and stuff that is happening to these people doing this TikTok trend. And not to toot my own horn here or anything, guys, but I tried to bring attention to this disaster 5 weeks ago. All right, and it did not pull well. Look at this, 1.4, almost 1 million. This one down here, 1.6, and this one only 40,000. And she just gets worked. Same situation, boat moving, heads to the stern, jumps right in, thinks she's cool, and her feet are swept out from under her and she slams into the water very hard, super dangerous. So that covers all this. If you guys enjoyed it, I really appreciate the support. Go ahead and check out that Instagram page, as well as subscribe to my channel here at JakeSea, and smooth sailing.